In last broadcast, we left off comparing Daniel's great beast, which he refers to as a global kingdom, to John's great beast, which is also a global kingdom. We were observing that John speaks of this as being one beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Daniel spoke of it as being the 4th beast, meaning 3 others had preceded it with 10 horns. In that comparison, we said there were some discrepancies with which we were not exactly comfortable. Namely, the difference between a 4th beast, meaning 3 others had preceded it, and as opposed to one beast, and the addition of the 7 heads to complement the 10 horns. Whereas it's easy enough to see that there would be 7 heads sitting upon which 10 horns would sit. That's, if you can't nail it down with specificity, you ought not to be persuaded by the fact that, well, 10 horns may sit on 7 heads. The absolute clue indicating that Daniel sees the same beast as John and John as Daniel is in the Revelation, where the reference is made to the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. John adds in verse 2 of Revelation 13, "And the beast I saw resembled a lion, a bear, and a leopard." And that absolutely nails it down as being the same vision separated by 700 years that both John in the later time and Daniel in antiquity saw. Daniel saw the progression of evil kingdoms culminating in this global kingdom. John saw the progression of evil kingdoms, the bear, the leopard, and the lion, culminating in this global kingdom. So when John adds the detail of 7 heads, we have a marvelous insight. Now, what then is this beast of Daniel and the Revelation? The insights lead us step by step to an inescapable conclusion. So let's lay out the foundation. He says, after the beast I saw, verse 2, resembled a leopard, had feet like those of a bear, the mouth like that of a lion. It goes on to say, John goes on to say, the dragon gave the beast his power, his throne, and great authority. Now let's review. What do we know? What do we absolutely know about this beast? Well, from Daniel, the interpretation of the vision that included all 4 beasts has already identified this 4th beast and all the other 3 as kingdoms, not nightmarish appearances of horrifying creatures, but specifically identifying them as kingdoms. And this one, this 7-head, 10-horned beast, is a global kingdom because its reach encompasses the whole earth. What else do we know? We know ultimately a ruler will come, typified by 1 horn, an 11th horn, that has the eyes like eyes of a man and a mouth that speaks blasphemously. So this kingdom has a representative who speaks for it and identifies the nature of this kingdom. This kingdom, we also know, will oppose and oppress the whole earth, and at the same time, it will wage war against the saints. So, from the standpoint of a believer in Jesus Christ, the advent of a global kingdom is not a well-anticipated, eagerly anticipated, joyously looked forward to event. What can you do about it? What can you do to keep it from happening? Nothing. When God tells us these things, He's not asking for our advice. And He's not requiring us to do anything. He's merely informing us. As you see the rise of a global kingdom, understand its implications for the church. It will oppress her. And it will wage war against her. Now, John tells us, in additional facts, the dragon gave the beast. We know the beast now is the same beast as Daniel spoke of in the book of Daniel. So if it's the same beast, what is it? It's a kingdom. Everything we know about the beast that we've just rehearsed from Daniel, we now know about this beast in the Revelation. So this global kingdom, concerning it, the following is said. The dragon gave this global kingdom his power, his throne, and great authority. Well, who is the dragon? Because apparently it seems to be ruling at the behest of the dragon. Well, here is the dragon. Verse 9 of the preceding chapter of the book of Revelation. I'm taking you lockstep through this so that nothing is missed. All right? Verse 9 says, the great dragon was hurled down, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels with him. Who then is the great dragon? His synonyms are the ancient serpent. Where do we encounter him? In the garden. Called the devil or Satan. This is Lucifer or Ha-Satan, the accuser of the brethren. So apparently, he's been up to a lot. Since the days of his first encounter with the forces of God, led by the great archangel Michael, he was thrown down to the second heavens, but apparently the war continues and he will be thrown down to the earth itself. Now I'll come back to that. In preparation for his advent to the earth, he's been busily preparing a last stand for himself. And for you not to see that is to fundamentally miss what biblical prophecy is about. Satan is preparing the place and the method of his last stand. That is why he will oppose and oppress the saints and wage war against them on the earth. He's coming to the earth. He's not here now. He comes back and forth. But the seat of his government is not located here on this earth yet. He is still the prince of the power of the air. He is still utilizing the spiritual forces of evil from his location in the heavenly realms, the second of the heavens. But I'll come to that. But he's preparing his last stand. And this last great beast, this global kingdom, is his last stand. He gives his power, Satan, the dragon, the ancient foe of man, the serpent, the devil. He's preparing his last stand. When the scriptures say he gives his power, his throne, and great authority to this global kingdom that has 7 heads, 10 horns, and an 11th horn that speaks his agenda and directs the forces of his consolidated power on the earth. That much you have as an ironclad prophetic stance. Right. But we have been saying that this cyber reality, this virtual reality, is the global configuration. It's not geographic. It's not the movement of armies and the placement of armies. It's making it impossible for you to trade without an identity, buy or sell without receiving the mark of the beast. This incredible development, greater in comparison than Darwin's theory of evolution and the world that it spawned, the world of communism and the fundamental changes in economic and social policy that the theory of evolution spawned. And we've spoken to this in an earlier broadcast. This new cyber reality, this virtual reality, reality created out of bits and pieces to serve the interest of man in holding on to his individualism and to his identity, will become the deadly entrapment, the deadliest of all. Partly because the people love it so. It's the promise of controlling information and retaining some sense of human dominance. This vanity of ours as the human race will cause us to fall headlong into an entrapment that we think we ourselves created, when all along it was created for us with great help. The systems itself, the whole internet system itself is not the evil thing. It's the use of it by those who have control of it that makes it good or bad. And that's the thing you are to see. Christians tend to react every time they see something that is in the nature of a red flag, a danger sign. They tend to react. And I can hear some in the viewing audience saying, well, I always knew that the internet was going to be trouble. It's not the internet that's trouble. It's who controls it. The thing itself is benign. It is neither good nor bad. It's how the control of it is effectuated. And then how that control changes and conditions human life. That's the evil. But that exists apart from the internet and computers. Computers are not evil, they're tools. The internet isn't evil, it's a tool. But who uses it, who fills it with content, who controls its process, that decides whether the thing becomes evil or serves useful purposes. What is this kingdom of Satan that uses the tool that we've been talking about? What is this kingdom of Satan? Well, you see, it's not a new creation. It's been around a very long time. Satan has created a kingdom that the Bible refers to as the world. And the scriptures say, love not the world, nor the things of the world. Whoever loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. This is from 1 John chapter 2, verse 14. Now, we're told by the same John who wrote John 3:16, for God so loved the world. We're told not to love the world nor the things of the world, by the same John. And the Greek is no help to us, because the word used for world in that passage of 1 John chapter 2, verse 14 and following, is the same word used for world in John 3:16. It's the word cosmos, K-O-S-M-O-S, cosmos. Well, help me here. God so loved the world the cosmos, that he gave his only begotten Son, and love not the cosmos, the world, nor the things of the world. Because if you love it, the love of the Father is not in you. God so loved the world, if you love it, the love of the Father is not in you. Seems like a contradiction, doesn't it? Well, it seems like a contradiction, but it isn't one. Every time you come across this question, does the Bible contradict itself? Your answer is no, even if you don't know the answer. It is normal in any language for the same word to be used to depict very different things. Let me give you an example. If I were to say, I frequently travel in the world, and I use the English word world, would you understand what I meant by that statement? Of course you would. I get on airplanes and I move around. If I were to say, on the other hand, young people live in their own world, would that be the same usage of the word world that I have just used when I said I travel about in the world? No. I do not frequently travel in the world in which young people so often travel. But I've used the same word twice. What allows you to understand what I mean by what I say? I do not have to invent another word. I can use the same word world when I speak of both concepts, differing concepts. Not necessarily contradictory concepts, but very differing concepts. You understand from my context, because language is a shared experience which takes on meaning that becomes settled over time. The Greek language was not dissimilar to that. Indeed, all language is like that. So when the scriptures use the word cosmos, K-O-S-M-O-S, and apparently very different things are meant, it simply means that according to the context, you can tell that a different meaning is implied. And if you were to look up this word in any respectable Greek lexicon, there would be at least 6 different meanings associated with the word world. One reference is to geography. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Another reference is to humanity. God so loves the world, people. Yet another reference is to a creation dubbed the God of this world has blinded their minds. Love not the world. And that is a creation of Satan which rivals in its application God's ways of being and doing things. The world of which Satan is the creator has never been geography. It's always been concepts, things that appeal to the human soul, things that appeal to the human mind. Invisible things, yet very real. Now, can you see why cyber reality or why virtual reality would be such a powerful expression of Satan's kingdom? Things that are real but are not tangible. One of the meanings of the word world is an orderly arrangement of systems. Another meaning is under the sway or rule of the cosmocrator, the God who created these systems. What are these systems that comprise the cosmos? Well, let me give you an example. In adjudicating disputes between people, we need some system of law and some process of order. Humans have created such a system for the adjudication of disputes. It is called an adversarial system. An adversarial system. Now, this is not rocket science. If you engage in an adversarial system, what is this adversarial system likely to produce when it's worked its way through? It will produce adversaries. So people typically engaged in a lawsuit will find that at the end of the lawsuit, they have been permanently alienated from each other, even if they began by being friends, relatives, business partners, even husband and wife. Now, is there a different way of adjudicating disputes that would make it a kingdom way? You see, Satan's counterfeit counterbalances the kingdom. The kingdom has these ways of doing things that are based in a different system of values. And so in the kingdom, there is a way of adjudicating disputes, just like there is a way of adjudicating disputes in the world. In the world, it's called an adversarial system because the thing that is valuable is the thing over which there is a controversy. The system in the kingdom for the adjudication of disputes values the person, not the things over which there is a dispute. So if your brother sins against you in the kingdom, the Bible says, go and tell him his fault just between the two of you. And if he repents, you have gained your brother. So the thing to be gained in God's system of adjudication is your brother. Why? Because your brother is valuable. The thing to be gained in the world system is the thing over which you're fighting, because your brother has no value to you. You see? When Satan's point of view rules, temporary, transitory things take on value, and humans have no value. Why? Because the enemy seeks to rob, steal, kill, and destroy. But in the kingdom, reconciliation, repentance, forgiveness, restitution, restoration, these are the norms. If your value is in the thing, discarding the relationship becomes casual. If your value is in the person, saving the relationship and being reconciled becomes the thing of paramount importance. So Satan's systems reflect Satan's nature. God's systems reflect God's nature. The cosmos, Satan's system, has been around for a very long time. So when the scriptures say the enemy, the dragon gave his power, his throne, and great authority to the beast, it means that the systems that Satan had been developing since the fall of man in the garden to induce man to rely on himself as opposed to reliance on God, those systems have been rapidly developing, and when this global kingdom comes about, Satan will simply hand over the rule of these systems to the ones to whom the rule is meant to be given, so they may rule for the furtherance of Satan's opportunities and his last stand. The cosmos has 7 systems to it. At the moment, the cosmos has many more systems than 7. But the order of the day is the integration of systems, making them more and more powerful. And the rulers who will arise over these systems will be global figures. For the first time in human history, we are seeing a call for global rulers to produce peace, harmony, and the well-being of nations, and global rulers who do not rule geography, but rule systems that control human life. This great beast that will crush and devour the whole earth will do so through the control of the systems that control humanity. And the rulers will be the kings of the earth. We'll continue our discussion of this most important development. I'm Sam Soleyn. God bless you. Continue to discuss this with me. Bye-bye.
I know the plans that I have. They are good for you. They are good for you. I know the plans that I have. They are good for you. They are good for you. And no matter, child, what voices you've heard, just keep trusting in my unchanging word. I know the plans that I have. They are good for you. I know the plans that I have. They are good for you. They are good for you. I know the plans that I have. They are good for you. They are good for you. And no matter, child, what voices you heard, just keep trusting.
Hello, I'm Sam Soleyn, and I'm the host of this television program. I'm happy that you've been joining us in the studies that we've been presenting via these programs. Now, many times I bring an entire series of messages, and you may be only able to hear one out of that series. If you're interested in the whole series, then we have them available for you. If you'll visit us on the website, www.soleyn, my last name, SOLEYN.com, or visit us or write to us at the address shown on the screen. We'd be happy to hear from you. Also, of course, our intention is that these messages be available to the general viewing public without cost to the end user. Obviously, there are costs associated with the production and distribution of these messages. If you would like to help us do that, then we'd love to hear from you. We might suggest that you write to us at the address on the screen or visit us at the website, www.soleyn.com. Our hope is that these messages will enrich the lives of those people who are seeking the Lord, and we hope that you would join us in making this available. I'm Sam Soleyn. God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I'm Sam Soleyn, and I'm the host of this program. We're happy that you joined us to watch and to view this program. Our hope is that by doing so, your spiritual life will be greatly enhanced. Visit us on our website at www.soleyn.com for further information on these messages. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye-bye.